What's with all these autists obsessing over his orientation? You got me. It keeps popping up on the videos too. People are the worst. It's a thing that doesn't matter. The seat sniffer. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, I I tweeted out that one clip from the last marathon. Was it CTR? I forget what it was. I think it was CTR they were playing it, and the guy raised a donation and said, what was it? My mother just passed away from cancer. And because of what happened in the game at the same time, everyone starts applauding loudly after he says that. It's a really awkward moment. But yeah, the seat sniffer thing wasn't real. My grandpa died of cancer is what she said. Okay. Yeah. Everyone starts clapping. Yes. Stamper managed to get one of those awkward moments too, because he was telling the guy reading the donations to try to read it in a funny voice. He told him to read the next one in a funny voice. And he does it, and it's a tragic one because they end up saying that someone just passed away from cancer. Ding dong, say my name. It's Jaggy. 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 Do you like any webcomics? That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Because I think there are some I like, but for some reason I can't actually think now. What ones I used to like? I'll come back to you on that one. I need to think about it because that's actually escaping me at the moment. Well, yeah, PBF is good, but PBF is like, that's a given. I don't want to have a boring answer like that because yes, PBF is probably one of the best. Ding-dong, would you do yourself if you were a girl? No, I wouldn't do myself, period. If you're on any more podcasts, I'd like to do it again. We're going to be recording with Man Ryan tomorrow. Is it gay to suck your own dick? That was a stupid argument. It's like saying touching your own dick is gay too. Because I get it, that's what the argument's supposed to be, is like, well, it's a dick in your mouth. You're enjoying the dick in your mouth. No, you're not. You're enjoying the sensation from it. Just like how jerking off is giving you a sensation. You're not getting off on the idea that, oh, it's a man's hands on my cock right now. No, it's comparable. I could get why that would become a discussion, but no. If you're able to do such a thing, no. If you're able to even do it. That's the thing too, if you're even able to do it. I think I had this discussion with Ross, didn't I? I remember I ended up putting, because he was talking to me about it, I was like, yeah, yeah. And I ended up putting my leg behind my head to show that I can actually do that. He's like, dude, yeah, you get it. That was a moment of bonding. Did you see what happened to Boogie at VidCon? I was hearing about that. I don't know what actually happened. I saw people disappointed because he put the video up and he was I don't know, whatever. VidCon's a mistake to begin with, by the way. If anyone goes to VidCon, you're setting yourself up for just drama and a bad time. Can we be friends? I don't even know who you are. Can I come over so we can watch a troll in Central Park and Rockadoodle? We don't have a troll in Central Park, but we do have Rockadoodle on VHS. I remember we noticed that at the end because I watched it with Julian. And at the end of the movie, because he was bringing it up over and over again, he kept bringing up like, oh yeah, here's the dog who doesn't know how to tie his shoes. There's no point to it. And I said, well, yeah, because he ties them at the end. No, there isn't a point to it. But then we watch it, and then at the end of the movie, credits, there's a song about how to tie your shoe. And I just said to Julian, I think that's why there's not anything about it in the movie. I think that's a cut scene, Julian, because this is a whole song dedicated to it. I mean, Julian never actually heard the credits before, so I think that's what ended up happening, is that they cut out a whole moment because of that. It's stupid to begin with, anyways. Why does that matter? That movie is a mess. But during the credits, there's a whole song about him tying his shoes and how to do it. And that's a lot of effort for something that ends up in the credits. I think that was meant to be a sequence that they just cut out. And I'm sure that's what happened with Rockadoodle anyways. I'm sure it was just a mess of a movie. They probably had a lot planned for it and they had no idea what they were doing. We watched Thumbelina and marvel at the magic of rotoscope animation. I remember we were watching Fern Gully at the office. Chris Ross, Julian, and I were watching it. I could do a fart porn. When was there even a fart in it? Now everyone has a boner for the stupid owl from it. I only got to see Frank Jevsey stop by the office one time. I didn't really get to talk to him much. When was it? I was wearing a Sega Saturn shirt, and he said, "Oh, very aesthetic," and that was the extent of our conversation. I didn't get to really talk to him. They played a really fun game, though. They, what was it? Cluster Truck or whatever. I would not pay money for it. I would not pay money for that because it just looks like a shitty slapped together thing in Unity. But it was fun for what it was. Do you like vaporwave? I hate it because it's the sort of things that I would enjoy, but it's being packaged in a way that I don't enjoy. On top of the fact too that it's the big funny meme ha-has. It's off-putting. Also, a lot of the music, I actually like smooth jazz, and that's where a lot of that gets sampled off of. There's a Rippington song that I really like a lot. Which, by the way, the Rippingtons, I don't know why that started popping up everywhere. Because I talked to Julian about it. I showed him, there's actually a really, really good, there were 2 drawings that somebody did that they tried pretty hard to emulate the look of a, who's the artist that does the Rippington album covers? I forget his name. He did a whole bunch of art that I remember from when I was younger. There were, what were they called? Were they Krups? I don't remember what the books were called, but they had like a coin magic one. There was one that it came with a mini flashlight and it was like shadow puppets. He drew a bunch of monsters for it. He did the Laffy Taffy monster art. He's a really good artist. I love his art style. I wish I fucking remembered his name. I love him. Yeah, use of CWS. Oh, that's a joke, by the way. Well, I was wondering if that's actually why the Rippingtons started popping up everywhere. But I like the Rippingtons a lot. Julian and I listen to it frequently. Because it was... Dustin, the Rippingtons. It's smooth jazz, but... Probably some of the most stylish album covers I've ever seen because of the artist, and I wish I could remember his name because I love his art style. I've always loved it since way back. Now, the Rippingtons. And yeah, Julian did draw something of it. I think it's funny too because he was trying to emulate how the music video looks. And I don't think people picked up on that because the music video that they did was it was really funny. They tried to draw the cat like superimposed over the footage of everybody, and it looks like they seriously used like paint or something because you can see the pixels on the artwork of the cat, and they got lazy in some parts. Like they just drag his head around and animate his body and everything, and it just has a really lousy looking airbrush shading, but it's charming in a way. And Julian drew a thing of that. But I started seeing more people draw more stuff of the Rippingtons, and there's a really good one I saw recently. They drew a couple pictures trying to emulate how the album art looks. They did a really good job. But yeah, smooth jazz is something I actually like a lot, and specifically the Rippingtons is probably my favorite of that, but vaporwave hits on a lot of that, treads on a lot of that. They've even sampled one Rippington song and got very popular and everything within that community, and I just hate that end to it. There's so many things there that are the makings of what I enjoy, but it's packaged in the worst possible way. Yeah, Imp, that's what those are from. I think that's his name, Dustin. Yeah, Bill Mayer. I think that's his name. That sounds right. Monitor. No, I'd like to be. Oh, I'd like to be using an RGB monitor. Yeah, I like Ween. Ween was a frequent listen in middle school, high school. Ding dong, how do I get people to like me when I actually have autism and an unlikable cunt? I wish I was joking. Boy, that is a question. Piggyback off somebody else on a Let's Play channel. And then people will pretend that you're funny when you're not. That's my advice. Push the Little Daisies is funny because that is his voice in that song, and it's sounds very close to Cartman, specifically at the end. Imp, was that you who asked it? Remember Ween was they pitched it up. Oh, did they? That's disappointing to know. I was hoping that was his actual voice. Is that the song they did that they were intentionally trying to make it sound annoying? They were gonna do the Pizza Hut commercials. They got commissioned by Pizza Hut to do the commercials, and they did Where the Cheese Go, which, by the way, that would have caught on. That would have caught on real hard, but Pizza Hut didn't like it, and so they need to redo it. And that's the second version. That's where he's. What was it? That's where he says, "Bitch, where'd the motherfucking cheese go at?" And then Pizza Hut was very upset that they submitted that back to them as their second attempt of doing it. South Park guys have said Push the Little Daisies were inspiration from Cartman's voice. See, that's what I was thinking, because Ween appeared in the Chef Aid episode, and it sounds like Cartman at the end of the song. That makes a lot of sense. I always kind of felt like that, but I never looked into that, if that was a fact. That's interesting. What song do they do for Chef Aid? Wasn't it Homo Rainbow? Would you recommend Twitch streaming to regular folk? It seems like you're doing well for yourself, but you already have a following due to Oni Plays. I think that's the only reason that there's a following on here, is because of that. It goes for a lot of the things that we're doing. Because I've done stuff previously. I always keep everything kind of separated because I want things to stand on their own, and whenever I've done that, guess what? Anything that I kind of do doesn't really matter in any way. This is the only time that attention has ever come. And go figure, it's because we're doing stuff with Chris. It's not because we're actually funny or entertaining. I think a lot of people just obligate it because we're doing stuff with Chris. But I still value that too. I'm sad that Trick or Treat and Tough Bippy are now going through our Patreon that's linked to Oni Plays, because I wanted those games to kind of stand on their own. So it's a little bit of a shame. What if we watch the Pebble and the Penguin afterwards, just so I can spout a bunch of trivia from behind the scenes? Oh god, that image. Julian has a big crush on the villain from that one. If you're still interested about the Boogie thing, he was very submissive towards Anita. I heard about that part. The video too, he even makes it pretty clear. He keeps saying how anxious he was around her and everything. And people were getting mad about him in that video, and from what I saw in the video, it's just because he ended up kind of going along with what she would have wanted. I think he was being very strategic about how he was just trying to word himself in that one. I don't think he wanted to just make it look like he laid down or anything. I think he was trying to get the message out there that yes, she's someone who puts people in the spots like that. And knowing people who have interacted with her directly, yes, Yes, she does. She is. She's not a good person. Oh, I forgot about Automobili Lamborghini. I miss streaming with Corey. That was always fun, just playing stupid Nintendo 64 games with Corey. I miss Corey. Corey is one of the funniest people that I know. Well, Automobili Lamborghini is not a very good game, so don't worry about that. Corey just liked it because of the stupid theme song for it. Yeah, he's been playing Crash. I talked to him a little bit about it. He was submissive, reworded his speech at the end to avoid offending her in particular. Then backstage, she yelled at him. She apparently felt he stepped on her message, which is that people to get angry and bitter and ready to fight. And Boogie's was, we should all get along and talk about stuff and treat each other equally, which Anita says thing is being used to divide people. I mean, she thrives off dividing people. That's kind of her whole thing. That whole thing with her, because my one friend, during Best Gamer streams, Chrissy, she hates her because it's that sort of thing. It's just someone who revels in misery like that and acts like they're the voice for every single person when they're not. So I get bothered by that sort of thing. It's why Dream Daddy I'm not happy about. That one's more upsetting because it's also no one on that is tied to what it's trying to do anyways. Best Gamers reunion. We did E3 streams just a while back. And we're going to be doing Bubba Fest again soon. Just got to figure out a good time to get all that ready. So we're going to be doing that again soon. Oh, here. Oh man. Swede Fighter Chris, I'm copying your name. Let me see if I can unban you right now. Thank you for sending me yet another message because I actually did need that. That's not sarcasm. Everyone always thinks I'm sarcastic. That was serious. Let me actually unban you. Unban. That's how you do it, right? You type /unban. Yeah, we got it. There we go. What do you think of Coraline? Oh, I like Coraline a lot. Coraline is, out of any of the Leica films, that's easily the strongest. It's one of Julian's favorite films of all time. Ever read the Undertale comic? I can already stop you there. No. I did not. I did not actively follow any fan material that came from Undertale. I had the thankful comfort of playing it on day one, so I didn't have to get hit by any of that. So I could at least think the way that I felt out the door, as opposed to being someone who could be influenced by... Because I even happened to Julian. Julian's like, I'm glad that Undertale was just this trending game for a year, because now I can play it again and get a fresh experience without any of that kind of bias against those sorts of people. What was it about Undertale that pissed so many people off? There's always that with a lot of things, but with Undertale, what ended up happening is that the fan base got way too obsessive with it to the point that it was being pressured by a lot of people too. Like people, IGN for example, didn't even review the game until like 2 months later as an obligation because it's like, oh well, everybody's talking about this thing, we got to do it. It was given this weird reputation for whatever reason that it's one of the most important games of all time. I think its message is very mixed up by how it actually plays out, nor does it achieve what a lot of people insist on with the characters being very strong, and that really gets you feeling when, for me, I didn't get that at all. Your first playthrough and everything, you pretty much get to see every character as just a walking catchphrase machine, and that's it. You actually get characterization out of them if you play it the way that you're not supposed to play it. But I think it's a mixed bag. There's a lot that I actually like about it. The battle system in specific, I would love to see that expanded on. There's quite a bit I like about it, but the writing is where writing and humor almost always does nothing for me from it. It usually ends up kind of annoying. Music is the best part. But the reason that it got people bothered is because of how obsessive and crazy people got about it. Because a big part of its success and everything is it was just a trending game at the time. It's like how Off was trending for a while and now no one ever talks about it. It's because the Homestuck community latched onto it, and it's why a lot of the art too was characterizing characters, like trying to build romances between them and everything. It's like, okay, well, guess what? None of that is in the game in any way, shape, or form. It's just that sort of thing, that there's games that exist like that just go through a trending phase and then no one ever speaks of them again. Undertale kind of fell off like that. You don't really hear about them anymore. I enjoyed things about Undertale, but it was kind of a mixed bag for me. Overall, I just thought it was all right. The writing was getting close to the point of just pushing me away from it. But yeah, that was why it was like a big blow up, is because it was in that window where people were saying and stressing that it's the most important game of all time and everything. So then you have two sides butting heads because it's like, oh yeah, well, I think it's the worst game of all time. Just that sort of thing. It's going both ways. Stupid. Listen, I could see her saying, or does she say it? I don't even remember. All I remember is all the creepypasta shit that it was trying to do, because at the end of the game, you literally have the villain saying, he doesn't say I am God, does he? He doesn't word it exactly that way. He doesn't say I am God. I think he says like I am the god of this world now. But it's like Sonic.exe that he's essentially saying I am God, and that's supposed to be scary. It's trying very hard to go for that sort of thing, and people were comparing it too to the Halloween hack he did way back, which he's embarrassed by, which fair enough, I understand. People were saying like, well, Halloween hack is a joke with its writing. This one's actually really solid. There's a lot of overlap between the two of those. There are a lot of things that overlap into the other one and are still just about as embarrassing. But I don't know, like I said, it's a mixed bag. But that's why there was that whole thing with people going crazy about it. You said specifically, why do people hate it so much? That was why people hated it, because they're forcing themselves to take the most extreme reaction to it as a response to the people who were obsessing that it's the most important game ever made and it's flawless in every single regard, and then reaching and saying like, oh yeah, some of the art looks messy, but that's because imperfections are beautiful, when no, that's not it at all. That's not why. It was a mix between the two. You get that sort of thing with trending games. As what was happening with Five Nights at Freddy's, because that was trending for the longest time. And even though there's merchandise everywhere, so the little kids are eating all that up, no one really cares much about the new releases of that sort of thing anymore. Aiden Senpai, the spooky sounds of Trick or Treat. Yes, that's the soundtrack, but those are early passes at a lot of the songs, and it's not the entire soundtrack. You get turned off by your fans liking you. I don't think they like me to begin with. Like I said, I think it's an obligated thing. I'm very annoying to listen to. Are you upset with me for being autistic about finding out who you are? Did you? I've been saying it since the beginning. If someone actually found that out, like you found a photo or something, like whisper it to me, I would seriously be impressed if someone actually found that sort of thing. Because, like I said, I have not taken one in ages for the longest time, so it would have had to have come from somebody else. I'd be curious to see how you could have found that. And if I saw it, I probably could figure out who took it then too. So I give him a stern talking to. No, I said repeatedly, I don't really care about that sort of thing. The only reason I've been trying to like hold off on that being a widespread thing is just because Let's Play fans are unstable. I don't want that being out there. If you want a fun example of that, the MagFest that Ross and Jared were doing something, and there were a bunch of people like hanging outside of their door because they found their room number, and they were slipping notes under it and everything, pretending they were hotel staff. Just that kind of thing. They're trying to get their phone number. That sort of shit. I don't want that sort of thing out there right now just because of that. I'm not gonna have any reason to care about that after we're done with this sort of thing. But I don't know who posted in the thread yesterday. I figured it was Amin, because Amin has seen me in person and everything. They ended up saying like, yeah, I've seen him. That's not what he looks like at all, because I don't. The photo that keeps getting posted around, and apparently it's because it came from Dark Gamer, who knew nothing. Knew nothing, because I kept all that away for a reason. He was trying to get someone fired from their job, like a friend of his, by calling around a million different Pizza Huts, hoping to find the right one that he worked at, and was trying to get him in trouble. He's the kind of person who did stuff like that. That's why I never wanted to share my information. I never trusted him. So he doesn't actually have any of that. But if someone actually had a photo, I would immediately say yes, that is correct, because that is I would be very shocked if someone had one, since I haven't taken one, and I think it's sad he's dedicated his entire life to you. I think it's sad because that was what, like, it's like 6 years ago all this happened. It's bizarre to cling on to something like that for so long and to care about it. I've known too many people like that too. I've known too many people who are in that position where it's like, oh, someone I recognize is doing something, so first instinct is to jump out and get angry about it.
Hey, I'm gonna turn on the air conditioner for you.
Oh, it's gonna be loud, Julian.
I was getting dizzy just sitting in the bathroom, and you've been in here for hours.
That's true. Julian, what do you want to do for 4th of July? You want to make hot dogs?
I don't think we have any.
You want to kiss hot frogs? Or do you want to...
Put your hands into a clearing.
You want to go to the bathroom and drop some steamy logs? That is how he says it.
He does. You have to pause.
Prance into a clearing. That's how he says it.
Or we could sleep. Oh, it's so good. Oh my god.
No, that who drew that one? Who drew that picture? I think Genghis is cute. Not really. There's some potential there, but not really. It all right. It not subtle or nuanced, but it all right. I'm guessing that was a response to me talking about Undertale. Dragon Quest Yangus, don't sexualize Yangus. Oh, please. Imp, if you put lipstick and eyelashes on him, you'd probably be jumping at it. Don't kid yourself. And probably any character I have a crush on, if you just put lipstick and eyelashes on it and said it was a girl, you'd be all for it. What does it say about you? What do you think of Call of Duty Zombies? Never really got to play it. This is you. Oh, MySpace. That's Chris Chan. Asgore's got a big tum, and I wouldn't mind getting beneath it. I don't care for him. I don't think anything in Undertale appeals to me. I'll say this though, Undertale does have some decent character designs here and there. Does anyone remember the Order 1886? I sure do. I remember everybody getting mad about the fact that people were calling out how it's nothing and you barely play it and it's very short. And everyone was trying to take that opposition, saying, no, nuh-uh, it's fantastic, you're dumb. And then critics were even saying the same thing. They're like, they're wrong, nuh-uh. The NeoGAF thread was the funniest thing because there were all these people preparing GIF images of it getting like 9 out of 10 scores, and it didn't. And I even remember talking to close friends saying like, yeah, it was actually really good. I would play it repeatedly. I really enjoyed it. Fast forward and everyone forgot it even existed. Is your favorite Sonic girl you want to fuck? None of them? Absolutely none of them. And then if we're gonna get into the second part to this question, which Sonic boy would you want to fuck? None of them? Absolutely none of them? I honestly feel like a shitlord about it. Oh, no, you're resorting to that sort of language. Who has said shitlord? And like, I'm glad a lot of that fell out. I'm glad shitlord fell off. I'm glad piss baby, that sort of thing fell out. People were quick to pick up on the fact, like, hey, you just sound like a moron saying these things. Glad all that fell out. What are some lesser known games that you think don't get the attention they deserve? And then there's a picture of muscular bears. Is that a reference to the guy who runs the Gay Gamer convention who was trying to raise money for a bunch of different things that he wasn't doing anything with? He was exploiting people for free money? Because I remember that was one of the things that he wanted to do. That guy is a mess. He was the one who made the infamous quote about how games that take reflexes are ableist and games should have emotional skill levels. Oh, no, they changed the name from GamerCon to a GamerX. And I don't understand the purpose. Yes, that was him. Funny story, I remember I even made a joke account way back that got banned immediately. I wanted to see how quick Twitter would even do something. All the account was used for was to send messages to game developers saying that they're hurtful and they should be ashamed of the work that they're creating. It was just a joke account. And within the 2 hours that it did not get suspended, it actually ended up with one follower. And that one follower was the person who runs that convention and was sending messages to that account saying, you know, you're in the right about all of this. So, just a joke account. I can, if you want me to, I can actually go get the avatar I made for it. I photoshopped like 5 images together to create like the perfect avatar for it. So it's like a, what did I even do? It was like a faux hawk that I drew pink, and then I intentionally like snipped off parts and tried to merge it with a photo of someone who had their head shaved. So it was to make it look like they had an attempt at shaving half their head but screwed it up really bad. So it was like a faux hawk chopped to pieces. And I remember I used the liquefy tool to puff the cheeks up to make the lips look like they couldn't even open up at all. It was a really exaggerated avatar and everything. It was actually a joke account. It got suspended very quick because that's all that was being done. Is it was just tweeting at other people with that sort of thing. And I'm glad Twitter's actually quick to crack down on that. I was nervous they weren't. So, but still, it was a joke account that was nothing but obnoxious, and the person who runs the Gay Gamer convention happened to follow it and said that it was a good thing being done. So, yeah. I can't show the Twitter because it's actually suspended. Oh, is that where that picture came from? Okay. That's what I was thinking. I was saying, it looks like it's just a Facebook photo. Okay, so that's why that picture keeps getting spread around. I got told that that's because Dark Gamer looked that up or something. Or, you know what, maybe that chat log is from him. I don't know. But, no, that's not a photo of me. That's, is that actually... Huh. That is interesting, though. Because that does apply to I don't know how to exactly even say this because I don't want to throw him under the bus. But what I will say is the one on the right is who that person on Facebook is that's being mentioned in that chat log. And I know that because that's friends of the person that everyone has been trying to follow as the lead. But in that photo, that's not actually... Why would people jump to think that that's him also, by the way? Because it's not. The shaved head photo was probably a closer go-to for that one if you want to find him. If you want to find him, by the way, people have been actually digging up plenty in that... plenty that would probably be close, and I feel bad about that because it's why I'd want to post. It's why I'd want to maybe just post my photo to make people stop this already, because I could dismiss any of that shit where people are trying to find a photo. I could just do it. People have run into us already. Like people have actually found us in person all the time. We got overheard recently. Just our voices got recognized and they came over and everything. There's people who have seen us plenty of times and could easily say, I wonder who the guy in the suit actually is, though. Because the guy on the right is probably like the same age as all of us. The guy on the left doesn't look it. When that image was zoomed out, I thought he was actually a lot younger. I might just end up posting a photo though. I don't like how far people have been digging on the wrong lead. Nobody listened. Nobody listened, which I shouldn't be surprised about, but I do hate how far it's been getting taken on the wrong end. That's interesting to me because, man, that's disappointing. I could just post a photo though. People are being such weirdos about it. It'd be a very quick shutdown on any of this, and hopefully that would get people to stop on this end to it. Because I've said it since the start. You guys have been digging for an account that was tied to the best gamers. You've been digging on the wrong end of it. But I could just... Should I just do it? Should I just post the photo already? Person on Trash who posted that, is that actually a chat log from Dark Gamer, or is that just someone who was randomly trying to dig up stuff? Yeah, it probably will attract more weirdos. I don't know. I feel conflicted about it. I don't know. Because seeing that post, that's like, holy shit. That's how obsessive this is like gotten. That they're going to that kind of length. Because that means they're probably contacting people all around on this sort of thing. And I don't like that that's happening. I don't like that this is going so widespread. surprised I didn't even get a text from him about any of that. I wonder if he even knows. Jesus. I don't know. Like I said, I don't even have a problem with any of it. I would probably be having like panic attacks and not even choosing to stream or anything if I seriously was in a position that I was worried about that kind of thing, because it's going to happen inevitably anyways. Because people ask that before, like, are you gonna show your face during if you got interviewed? Yeah, I would. I don't care. I'm just staying away from it because of the Let's Player thing. But if it's getting to this length that people are just gonna start targeting a random person because it's the only lead they feel like they have, I may as well just end that as soon as I can. Because that is insane how desperate they're going for that sort of thing. Well, that should also be proof too, is that the ultimate sock guy on Twitter has never been banned for a reason. If anything he had posted actually was tied to me, he would have been suspended already, because if it was me, I would have reported him, wouldn't I? Like, if I'm actually being doxxed, I would have reported him, and to report someone, you have to show ID. So, yeah, there's a reason he's not suspended. It's because that's not how it is. Because I remember hearing from one of the other guys from the Best Gamers that they got into a position like that they were panicked about being harassed like that, and they said how they had to go and try to do that sort of process, and that's what they require from you. Facebook, apparently, it's even worse what they expect from you if you try to report that sort of thing over there. On Twitter, what he said was they just wanted a photo of ID, but it's actually funny. My driver's license doesn't even really look like how I look now, because I was a porker back then. I'll say that too. If you're gonna find an old photo of me, I'm gonna be fat in it. I'm gonna be heavy, because I was fat when I was younger, and I think that's the last time I had a photo taken of me. Yeah, Facebook wants like your social security and everything, I think. Yes, I was very fat in high school. Yeah, I saw that Twitter thing. I don't know what that... Is that... Can anyone tell me if that was like a new account or what? I don't even know what that one's about. But I should probably just start doing things on my own. Because our one friend has been helping me for the longest time with a lot of this stuff. Whether it's like registering things or any of that. Because I always throw additional money for doing it, because I don't want any of that to come back and like bite me specifically. But that feels wrong to do. And I mean that the information get thrown out and you people would, you'd all have it. But at the same time, oh boy, the extent this has gone to. It's surprising how much people care. I really do wonder what is wrong with some people, why they care about a stupid fucking Let's Player to this length. Heck, imagine if this was intentionally being kept vague to get people mad about this sort of thing, focused on it, having discussion about it. Imagine if that was the angle being taken. No, it's not. I'm not gonna pretend that that's what's happening. It's probably an easy way to get attention though, or to give in to something like that too. I mean, that's what happened with the feminist frequency Kickstarter. I was just taking advantage of people who were gonna react that way, and deleting comments to selectively make it look like only the angry people existed, to give a case in point, like, hey, see, this is why it's important, that sort of thing. I wonder if a Let's Player's done that. You're an ex-developer of some controversial game. No, I'm not. I worked on really mundane projects for the most part. All of that I don't talk about because that's NDA. I can't talk about it. Well, on the Dre, that's what I said was the reason I have never... It's why I haven't cared about these photos. It's why I humored it. It's why I responded to the guy to begin with. Which was a bad move because it's affecting someone else I know, which I don't like. That one Twitter thing, I don't exactly understand though. Maybe it's because he ended up telling people that he knew about it or something. Because he was, he's very proud that we were doing videos on Game Grumps. But I don't know what the context of that one is. But like I said, I could easily just post my face. I could just do it. I might just do it. If this is how far you people are going with this kind of thing, I may as well just do it. Because, like I said, this is not a thing that matters, but apparently to all of you, this matters way too much. That you're going to actively set out to, like, contact people now and go this crazy and overboard with it. Oof. Yeah, whoever posted that in trash, that's how I lost the weight. I played a lot of DDR and I just ate a lot less. I was like 200, oh my god. I was like 260, 70 pounds in high school. So like I said, if you're gonna find photos of me, you're probably gonna find photos of me when I was fat. You're not gonna find how I look right now. I was very, very heavy back then. I lost a lot of weight doing DDR. Well, the reason I never posted it to begin with is because the fact that we're doing stupid, shitty Let's Plays, I didn't think anyone would care to that length about that kind of thing, but I should have remembered we did the best gamers, and that Dark Gamer in specific is pretty nutty. So I should have expected drama over nothing. So I don't know. I'm going to be changing my policy if that's the case. Because I said before, if people manage to approach me in person right now, I don't care. It's so infrequent that I don't care. It's happened only a handful of times. I'm alright with it. I'll gladly have a conversation right now if people approach me in person and everything, but if I post a photo, I am not going to be doing that anymore, because where we've had people stop us and everything, we live by a lot of different things and everything. If that's what ends up happening, I guess, you know what, we don't really live by that much. We always drive out where a lot of stuff is. If that ends up happening, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, hey, I'm not gonna try to engage. If someone recognizes me in person from that point, I'm not gonna actually really respond. I'm not gonna be friendly about it, because that's what I've been trying to avoid. I don't want to be stopped frequently over something dumb like Let's Plays. I really don't want to be stopped over that sort of thing. It's why I've been avoiding it, and if this is what it takes for people to just lay off someone else that I know, I may as well do it. I did see the guy who wrote his name on his balls. Dark Gamer and Sock in the chat log. No. Well, that makes sense. That's why it's not a photo of me. That makes sense. Nobody cares about your face, autist. Well, scroll up a bit in the thread and look at all the other threads that exist, and that someone has been dedicating themselves for 2 months straight to this sort of thing. Yeah, people care. I don't know. I already said too that we might be doing live action videos with Matt and Ryan soon anyways, and I'd probably end up being in them, but I don't know if this is something that I should be responding to. I don't know, because it's like a moral dilemma. Someone else is being harassed like this now by this sort of thing. I don't even like using the word harassed either, by the way, but I feel like this is probably an appropriate situation for it. Someone else I know is getting affected by all of this because every time I say something is not something, people think it's the opposite. Because even though I throw everything out there outside of personal information, people always think the opposite. So when I said from the start, this is not the right trail you should be following, people kept going anyways, and congrats, you found the wrong person. It is somebody I know, though, but it's not the right person. So maybe it is time to just post a photo. Suck it up if people approach me in person. I don't know. I'll think about it. Well, Julian didn't do a face reveal. Julian's always had photos of himself online because he doesn't care. The reason I ever avoided... I avoid that kind of thing because I never wanted things I worked on really linked up. It goes for a bunch of people I know. It's true. If I post my face, it's probably going to make them happy, but at the same time, it's not exactly something I give too much of a shit about either. Seriously, that's the only reason I haven't done it. I know I'm talking about it a lot now, but it's the reason I care now is because somebody I know is actually being affected by this. So congratulations on bothering someone else I know. But at the same time, I mean, it's my fucking fault that someone else is being bothered by it. I may as well just do it. Because the best way to show that you don't care is to actually just do it and show you don't care. Person posted Kermit, no. If I post my photo, like I said, I'm not going to engage in a conversation if I get approached now. This is why I was refraining from posting a photo. I'm okay with being approached every now and then. If it's going to become a frequent thing, I'm not going to do it. That was why I was avoiding it. It's not out of shame or anything either. I look very plain and boring. I just don't want to be approached constantly. Or something as dumb as Let's Plays. That too. Why that? Why obsess over that? How many relics are left? I only have 4 left that I need to get. He's reading 4chan where people can be assholes with no consequence. No one's really being an asshole. The person who posted the thing was actually being friendly. They posted a chat log between the people who were being assholes. It's funny too because it could easily be thrown back in his direction. I don't know why he's been doing this. The only reason no one has thrown anything back at him is because no one cares except for him. He's gone out of his way to try to bother everybody from the Best Gamers group. There's a reason why everyone's still friends outside of him. It's a thing that anyone could have gone back and thrown back, and like I'm not gonna do it. No one else is doing it, and it's because no one cares. It's a ballsy thing to do when you think that you're being the intimidating one when everyone just thinks you're being a child. But I'm at a point that I feel really guilty. I don't know what to really do here. Because it's not going to obviously stop. And the more I insist it's somebody else, I'm sure everyone's just going to keep thinking like, oh yeah, right. So, I don't know. It's a tough point. It's a tough point. I maybe should just post the photo, suck it up, just deal with it already. Is there a way I can like publicly announce though that if I post a photo of myself, I am not going to engage in conversations with people? It's not even that I want to be rude, it's just I know it's going to be frequent. We've been stopped so many times already without my photo being out there. People have recognized me. So I don't know what to do. Yeah, they're probably gonna do it anyways. It's true. I don't know. It's a weird spot to be in. Three hours of deliberating whether to post his face or not. He doesn't care, guys. I mean, it's always easy to shorthand a thing that happened. Also, 3 hours. No, it's been like 10 minutes, but you're right. Being in a position where people are obsessively tracking down someone that you know, going to the length of finding people that they knew in real life and just contacting every single person they've probably interacted with. Yeah, you know, that's actually kind of a weird spot. That's kind of a weird spot to be in. I'm sure you on the 4chan have never had to deal with social interaction anyway, so that's nothing that's ever gonna have to bother you. But I feel plenty of guilt. I don't like that this is what's happening. I don't. It's supposed to be about me. If he's gonna be a little baby boy, if Dark Gamer wants to be angry about stuff, it should be focused around me. So that's why I might just do it. So I guess let's just pull it out. Let's do it. So anyone being retard about this can finally just realize, yeah, hey, no, I was being honest from the beginning. So let's find it. We'll put it to a close. It's best to just do this. It's not a big deal. Jesus Christ, calm down, everybody. But whoever posted that on trash, thank you. That's actually helpful to know, because I didn't realize that was the length that it was getting to. That's really bad. I'm not gonna. Because I remember the guy came in here, I even said to him, like, yeah, you probably got blocked because you're going out of your way to contact a million people. People are going to get annoyed with you when you're being a creepy weirdo. And if you find a name, you're probably going to find a person, yeah. But here, I'll go and, what is it? Enjoy the fan art of your face now. Don't remind me. That's why I didn't want to post it. It's true. I would be getting rid of the avatar. That's part of why I didn't want to do it too. I thought it was fun having a little avatar Tidone he plays. I thought that was the fun part of it. It's absolutely gonna go away if I post a photo. The magic of it gets to disappear. So. Then don't do it. Listen, everyone's saying not to do it. I'm disappointed that it's gone to this kind of length. Once again, I'm thankful whoever posted that in that thread. I just don't like that it's gone as far as this, that no one could listen. No one seriously could have listened. I'll say this too. Seriously. If you actually wanted to find stuff on me, you pretty easily could have done it by just looking up certain games that looked pretty clearly like I worked on them. Like, I think my art style is very recognizable. You could have just found the games that I worked on, and you would have had a name off of there. You wouldn't have a photo, unless someone I knew took one. But you would have had a name. So I don't know. I guess it's because I kept saying not to follow somebody. Yeah, I don't know why everyone's acting like this is such a big deal. It's really not. The big deal, the big end to it is the fact that this was happening this whole time and going this far, and nothing apparently ever happened. They took it to this length. Jesus. I gotta send an apology. This one contacting like everyone he knew. Post it on FA. I'm not doing it on there. I was playing fresh. Yeah, it's true. They would just do that. They just post a million threads with my picture. Well, no, it kind of is like a one face or the other sort of thing. No one's gonna be caring about the avatar anymore. I'm not really being bullied into it. I actually just feel guilty. I don't know what other way I can really kind of prove, like, hey, seriously, switch priority over. Do I have to just... That's the only way I could really do it, is just actually throwing my information out there. That's probably the only way I can shift it off someone else, because they're being relentless about it. I don't like that it's affecting someone else that I know. Because I was taking amusement at first, because it's like, oh, they're fucking way off. And every time I kept saying, like, yeah, you're going down the wrong trail. No one listened, and they kept going. I thought that was funny. But now I don't know. I don't know. Are you doxing yourself? I mean, in a sense. What area code is that? My image of Ding Dong being a fat bald man who could shapeshift into a ginger boy is ruined. I'm kind of curious where the fat bald guy came from, too. Oh, it's from Scruff McRuff. Okay. No, they're not gonna stop. I don't know. It feels lousy that someone else gets to be affected because, like, 6 years ago, it was like 5, I guess. I interacted with someone like this, so this is what gets to happen now, is that someone gets to fucking have everything fall apart on them. Then again, you know what? He's never said anything about it, though. Never said anything has been really happening. I talked to him this morning. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. You know what? We'll do this at least. Pull this up. Eee. Okay. We'll get that ready for later. And I'll consider posting it based on what he ends up saying, because He didn't mention anything, but if he's being bothered, like if they're actually talking to every single person he knows trying to find stuff out, I may as well just do it. May as well just suck it up. But stop freaking out. I don't know why you're all being like this. I'll talk to him though. I'll see what to do. If he's fine, then he's fine. Probably I'm just gonna post it though. I think it's gone long enough. But well, it's a stupid situation to be in anyways. It's a really stupid spot to be in. I said before, if people just found my photo, I'd acknowledge it. I'll say this too, like Dark Gamer, like, hey, one, I don't know what's been going on. I asked him a while back if he was just okay because he was freaking out so hard. Yeah, changed his banner on YouTube and everything too. He's really been acting nutty about it, but like Dark Gamer, I thought you knew what I looked like, so you know that photo isn't correct. So I thought you at least knew that part. Didn't you? I don't know. Like I said, if anyone seriously wants to find information, you have a really easy way of doing it. I've said before, I've worked on a whole bunch of games. If you see an art style that looks like mine, boom, you've done it, because I think it's very obvious what it looks like when I draw. I've said before how limited my skill set is and everything too. I think it'd be very easy to find what I've worked on. You can go off of that and probably be able to get my name from there. So there's a hint at least. Are people saying that I sound depressed? I sound like this all the time. This is just my voice. I feel like you can't keep the avatar. I mean, in a sense, it would be killing the avatar. If I post my face, it'd be killing the avatar. It wouldn't matter anymore. Yeah, I'm not being loud because I'm not recording Oni plays. This is how I sound normally. Yeah, that's whoever typed that in the chat. That's old news. Yes, I've acknowledged that before. Yes, I do have another Twitter like that. I've talked about that repeatedly for like months now. That's old news. How many platinum relics have you gotten? Am I at 22 now? I think I'm at 22. I know it's not gonna matter. You don't have to insist to me it's not gonna matter. I know it doesn't matter. I'd be freaking the fuck out right now if I actually cared. I know it's not gonna matter. It's because I'd like to just be able to dismiss it now, but I actually feel an intense amount of guilt. Because even though this isn't... Because people are saying that too, like, it's not your fault. Yeah, I know, but at the same time too, kind of is. I kind of let it on by saying anything to begin with. I joked, and I shouldn't have joked, because it's getting someone else thrown under the bus now. Oh, who drew that one? That actually looks really good. I need to retweet that one. Well, La Brea, that's what I'm doing. I took a photo. I'm gonna talk to my friend and figure out how they feel about all this. One, I'm gonna check if they've actually been affected by it. Two, I'm just gonna tell them all this because they weren't aware of it. I'm just gonna tell them everything that's happened, and we'll figure out what I'm gonna end up doing from there. I just wanted to kind of stop on their end, because I said from the start it wasn't the right trail, and nobody listened. And another they caught on. They found someone else. Because people do have names, and when you actively look up someone's name, you probably will find things tied to that name. It's just unfortunate that all this shit is going on because I didn't post a fucking stupid picture. So, probably should just do it already. I don't know. I'll probably, like I said, I'm going to talk to my friend about it. I'll ask them. My fear, too, is that's going to be like, oh, after... Because they've helped so much. They've done all this fucking shit for me that they shouldn't have been doing this whole time. They've helped out with so many different things. And this is like, oh, here's the payment you get. Is this. You get to have your life ruined. Feels like a shitty thing to do. This has sent me a text just now, so... Would it be enough to let people know that this isn't you? I already did that at the beginning. They didn't believe me. Oh, is that them again? They already didn't believe me at the start. Because obviously, if someone's trying to dig up info on you and you say that's not me, they're gonna think like, oh, he's making excuses. This must be him. So that's obviously what ended up happening. I just ended up making jokes about it the whole time. I could have easily just didn't acknowledge it, but I did because I thought it was funny, and it was a stupid move. Because now it is actually affecting somebody, so it's no good. But does Oni know what you look like? Oh, no, never. He's never seen me in person a single time. How long can you tell you've been playing this? Considering how much we recorded and how much I've streamed this, that's why I said probably over 40 hours. It's true. Amin is one of the few people who saw me in person, and it's true. I was wearing a paper bag on my head. Letma, you've been I've noticed you've popped into these streams to be a dumb Spurgo like 20 times over now. You've sent me direct messages repeatedly asking about things that are already out there. Except for that one. That one, you know, considering how much of a creepy weirdo you've been, I guess I should just give you that sort of information. Why would I do that? Why would I do a Shia LaBeouf? LaBeouf. I mean, no, did you pass it off? I mean, I didn't even know you took a photo. That's right, that's it. You found it. I don't know. It's weird actually just being in a spot like this too. I guess it puts it all into perspective that people are going to go out of their way to ruin someone's life, I'm being stupid. Someone's life, hoping to find information about someone else. It's Let's Plays. It's really, it's, it's Let's Plays. Of all the things to obsess about, it's Let's Plays. Who cares? Why is this the thing that puts someone in a position that every day of their life, this is what they're going to focus on? It's, oh. Well, apparently he hasn't seen any of this. It hasn't affected him, so I don't know. I'll think about it. But I think Amin or anyone else could even just say like the photos out there. It's because you're not following the right lead. Haha, epic. What's your deal? What's your malfunction? I watched JoJo once to see the funny dank meme poses and homosexuals, but it was just two old-timey people boxing over a woman and it was boring. That's because it's part one. Also, for the most part, JoJo has It can go all over the place. It can end up being something fun. It can end up being something that's very standard shonen, is hard to swallow. Say part 2 is the best of it. Mika, no, you didn't. You didn't finish all the time trials. You didn't get a platinum on everything. Oh, 24 platinum, 2 gold. Okay, I was gonna say, there's no way you got platinum on everything. The time I wasted here, I probably could have been closer. Oh man. Oh well. Oh, the amount of time I just spent on that, I'm sure it's going to encourage them to bother our web host even more, which, oh well. Like I said though, we're probably going to be doing live action stuff with Matt and Ryan soon anyways, so there's if that's really been a thing you've been yearning to see, it'll probably end up popping up in something like that anyways. We were gonna do a live action ending to the Kingdom Hearts series, but that's a while away still. Which Platinum Relic has been the most annoying? The orange gem stage. With Keyblades. We're gonna do something like that, yeah. Do you read Tails Gets Trolled? I've been aware of it since everyone first was like posting about it and everything. I never bothered reading it because it looked extremely fake as a thing, and I'm guessing it is. If it's legitimate, I don't really believe it. I think you've all been had from the beginning if people thought it was legitimate. It always came off as like just an exaggerated joke. Is it real? I don't know. I guess it could be real. Because then I think about things like what's it, Benny the Beast. People do that kind of thing all the time, I guess. But that was why I didn't bother reading it. That was just people being had.